It is a Monday edition of Local 6 Legal Line here on Local 6 Midday. Attorneys Mark Bryant, Austin Kennedy from the Bryant Law Center in Paducah here to answer your questions regarding personal injury on this segment. And Mark, we do have a question already, and Joshua wants to know, are semi-truck accidents handled differently than just a regular car accident? And we've seen a lot of these in the last few weeks.
Oh, it's incredible how many have been out on I-24. I mean, you really do take your life into your own hands when you're out on the interstate anymore, because there are so many truckers out there. There are twice as many truckers out there as there were in 2000. There are millions of truckers out there now, and anyhow, and the cases are handled differently. They're handled differently by the police when they do the investigation. But where it really gets down to it is the trucking companies will fight you tooth and nail. And we've had a lot of these. We've even tried some of them, and they absolutely, even when it's their fault, they take the cases to trial because they want to do everything they can to squelch this litigation. And so, yes, they are handled differently. And insurance companies routinely, or trucking companies routinely will just incorporate their truck, and they put $1 million worth of insurance on it, and oftentimes that's all you've got. And I'm telling you, when you get run over by a semi-trailer truck, your medical expenses, if you're lucky enough to live, are often more than the $1 million they're insured for. So yes, we've handled lots of these accidents, and it's sad. We suspect we're going to get a lot more of them.
Now, when you get to this point, in a semi-accident, is the driver responsible, or is it the company that owns the truck?
Well, you go for all the insurance that you can, Dave, and routinely you go after the trucking company because they have a minimum of $1 million insurance, but a lot of times that's all they do have. And so you'd sue the driver too, but in all likelihood he's insured by the trucking company. So that's what you do.
We have a question from Bill, who was in an automobile accident and is wondering if the Bryant Law Center is hireable by people in Cape Girardeau.
Sure, we handle a lot of cases out of state. Automobile accidents happen all over the country, and we get calls all over the country to handle them. And if we have to take a case to trial, we get local counsel in that state to help us out with it. But yes, we handle cases out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, trucking accidents, automobile accidents, and yeah, we do a lot of that.
We do have a couple of minutes left on this segment of Legal Line. 1-888-208-6946. If you want to try to get your question in, please give us a call. Now, the next question is from Mandy, who says, I was not wearing my seatbelt. Will that affect my injury case?
Well, it can, and it might not. It really depends on the nature of your injuries. If the seatbelt would have prevented, say, the injuries that you did sustain, like a head injury against a dashboard, for example, or the wheel, then yeah, I would say that could affect your damage claim because you have a duty to mitigate those damages. If it's something like, say, a broken ankle, for example, where a seatbelt would not have done anything to really prevent you from breaking your ankle in a car accident, then maybe not. But that's definitely something to wear. I always tell people it's always better to wear a seatbelt. I mean, obviously it's the law, but I mean, it really does save lives. And even when you do have certain injuries from a car accident from wearing the seatbelt, a lot of times they're so much better than what it could have been if you weren't.
Jacob says, in a potential car accident, if it's my fault, what should I tell the police when they show up and ask for a statement?
Well, I mean, I would obviously tell them the truth. You don't have to speculate or anything if you don't know exactly how fast you were going or when you saw I guess the vehicle that you encountered or hit. You don't have to speculate to that, but I would always say you do have an obligation to tell the police, the truth as far as what occurred, because I'll tell you what's going to happen on the other end is the person that you hit, or if you may have been, they may have been at fault to a certain degree as well. They're going to say that you were at fault, and they're going to say things that you may or may not have done. So your part of the story definitely matters, and you need to tell the police exactly what you remember and recall.
We do have one quick question left, and I think we're going to have to wait until we can get to the second segment to answer this because we're just about out of time on this first segment of Legal Line. But nevertheless, if you do have a question as well, give us a call, 1-888-208-6946.